All right. Hello, Anna.
Hello, Sveta. Hi.
It's so good to have you on the honest place. Today's question. Today's question is about.
Oh,
It holds so much.
let's sigh. Oh,
Why does ambition come with guilt and shame?
Mm.
And you inspired this episode, Anna,
Without even knowing that.
without even knowing that. I absolutely love your the content that you translate for your
Yeah.
social media channels. It is so honest, and I personally feel seen when I read your content, when I hear you speaking. And when you opened up the topic of feeling guilt and shame while wanting more, I was feeling like you are speaking for me.
Yeah.
You are saying out loud the
Yeah.
things that I feel when I think about something bigger that I can achieve, when I have a vision.
Uh-huh.
So let's talk about this. Why do you think wanting more feels so loaded for us?
Mm-hmm. Wanting more was loaded with guilt and shame for me, specifically a few months ago, because I think I found myself at some breaking point when I discovered inside of me a very loud voice that was talking very negatively to me. And I was shocked because I didn't hear that voice so strongly for a while. Maybe because I was catching up with my achievements well. But when I realized, okay, I've done a lot, I'm exhausted, I cannot catch up that quick anymore. So I had to slow down a bit. And this is where I was between a part of me who wanted more and more. And it also comes like from a healthy place, maybe like not very good place. I want to uncover that. And also a part of me who was almost punishing myself for wanting more. And this is a very, very difficult place to be, especially if it's inside of you.
Yeah, it feels like an internal conflict. One side
Absolutely,
of
a
you
big one.
is striving for something bigger for your life, and the other is trying to like hold back. So, can you share a recent example or example from the past? How does it look like wanting more, and what is this voice saying?
Absolutely. I think three big topics for me is visibility,
Hmm.
impact, and money. And we don't
Oh,
always
wow, like three
talking
big
about
pillars.
it.
A strike.
So I wanted more visibility, I wanted more impact, and I wanted more money. And this is where the shaming voice inside of me activated like crazy.
That's so interesting. You're talking about yourself, but I feel this shame
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
What's
Are these
happening,
the
God?
same topics for you, or you would add something else?
I think you touched three of the biggest:
Yeah.
visibility, impact, and money. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So this is where my shaming part activated the most. And then, well, being a psychologist, I also try to do my own inner work. I started to explore in details what the inner part that was imposing shame, what did it try to shame me for? And
Hmm.
there was some complexity too, because it's not just one part of shame. There were, again, three. And then again, I will be super curious to see if you could relate to some of it, or maybe you have your own unique type of shame. So
Right.
I realized that the first shame I was experiencing, it was for not being grateful for what I have,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time, like sort of not having enough yet, not being enough. So I combine it into one because it's a shame of luck. Oh,
Right.
you are not there yet. And you are not
Mm-hmm.
only there yet, but you are also ungrateful for what you had, because that voice glued together, wanting more and being ungrateful. So that was the first type of shame of luck.
Right. So, can I ask you here?
Sure.
So, for me, it often comes like a thought of, I'm trying to be too much. I'm going to be too much.
Mm,
Is it the same thing, or is it quite different from your point of
I
view?
think it might be the second type of shame that, again,
Okay.
I identified in me. So the first one is the shame of being in lack. The second one is, how dare you to want more?
Yeah, this one,
how
my
dare
favorite.
how dare you are to be too much? Who do you think you are?
Mm-hmm.
And these two types of shame, they are already very funny because they are creating that juxtaposition where we find ourselves in inner conflict. So what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be happy for what I have? And how can I combine it with wanting more? If I want more, it means I'm not happy for what I have. If I am happy with what I have, how am I supposed to want more? So it's a place of stuck, because whatever you
Yeah.
choose, any voice of shame will get activated. But there was even a third one on top of that. I think it's very personally related to me and to my recovering overachiever, that likes for the things to be certain, to be quick, and to be efficient. So the
Mm-hmm.
third type of shame was about, okay, so you are here, so you want more, but you have no idea how to get where you want
Mm-hmm.
to be.
Uncertainty. Yeah.
Shame on you that, oh, you are so ambitious in your head, but how you will actually get there, I don't know. And somehow this voice found the third way to shame me for wanting more, but not knowing how to get there immediately.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense?
Totally. Totally. I very deeply resonate with everything that you just shared. And I think uncertainty might be one of the. So they're all big. So for me
Yeah.
personally, I experience them all and they are all having a huge impact.
Yeah.
But the last one, the uncertainty, is the one I was exploring just recently
Mm.
because it is an interesting question, right? So,
Mhm.
how can we know all the answers if we have our own unique path, right? If we're exploring something that includes our unique talents, our unique perspectives, who can possibly know the path to take to get you where you are
I
supposed to
know.
go?
Especially when you are moving to the next level where you haven't been yet. How are you supposed to have it figured out here and now? You are figuring it out as you go, yet I realize there is a belief in me that, oh, if I am taking a new height, I am supposed to know exactly immediately here and now to know how will I get there.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I think it's very unsafe for my internal system to pursue it. So I think this is
Right.
how I try to kind of keep me safe by knowing exactly how it will happen. Otherwise, danger, danger, danger. Don't go there, don't go there.
Yeah. And where is it coming from? Where is this dangerous signal, the alert is coming from?
Yeah, yeah. Well, in my case, I come from a very modest family, and we didn't have a lot as I was growing up. Uh, but being a child or as a child, you don't really have enough comprehension of what financial means are and
Yeah.
what it is
Yeah.
exactly. What am I supposed to do with that? The child doesn't carry any financial responsibility. Yet the child has a lot of wishes or desires. So as
Mm-hmm.
a child, I remember the moment when I think I wanted my mom to buy me some new clothes, like very girly thing to ask for. And I remember I was coming to her and I was asking mom, I want this or that. And the way my mom reacted, she said something like, "How can you ask me that? You know we cannot afford that."
Mm-hmm.
And I think she did the best she could, and probably she wanted to give me some teaching lesson there. But as a child, the message I heard from my mom was shame on you for
Mm-hmm.
wanting more.
Right, right. So you internalize this scarcity like,
Yeah,
mindset.
that's true. That probably my mom lived in, and that was the
Yeah,
reality at that
yeah.
time. I'm sure my mom inherited it. And
Mm-hmm.
then without conscious awareness, she was passing it down to me instead of containing probably some sadness and disappointment that an understanding of my desires. Like, I know you really need that. I know you want it, but it's so sad that we cannot have it now. But it's okay to want it. Uh, that I was shamed for wanting more and even causing pain to my mom, who I loved dearly. So I think there is an unconscious belief that it's shameful to ask for more, and somehow it can cause pain to others. So that
Yeah.
was my connection between what patterns I have now and
Mm-hmm.
when they were developed in the past. Do you know your root of the shame that you experience from time to time for wanting more?
Yeah, I think it is coming from very much the same place from being a child in a particular environment. And as you were sharing your story, I was thinking about my own childhood. And I think the biggest thing was scarcity was a thing for sure.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest one for me is the visibility.
Mm-hmm.
So in my childhood, so I come from a family that was afraid of the world. The world is a dangerous place.
Ah, so
Yes.
so it's unsafe. The biggest belief was the world is unsafe.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's connected to scarcity
Yeah,
because it's
absolutely.
in the childhood, for my family, it was like being too visible, you would risk something being taken away from you, and everyone worked so hard to get these things for the family.
I see.
So I also internalized that if I have an opinion, if I'm speaking up about something, it's risky.
Yeah.
Something might happen, something bad might
What
happen.
would happen? Have you ever went to the end of like what danger would happen?
Yeah, I'm doing it all the time.
Yeah.
Every time I'm facing this fear that is coming from the very old place,
Yes.
I'm questioning it, and it's the
Yeah.
only way to move through this fear.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like interviewing myself, and what
Yeah.
exactly is going to happen? Okay,
Yeah.
some people might turn away from me because they feel less related, less connected to me. But is this really true that I want people who are not ready to grow with me to stay with me on the journey?
There is a particular scenario in your mind when you are visible. It's unsafe because people would turn their backs onto you. So, can we call it a fear of rejection, a fear of not
Yeah.
belonging, a fear of not
Hmm.
how
Yeah,
you
I
would
think belonging is a very
belong, the big one.
suitable, very
Yeah.
suitable word here.
I felt for me it was the same. So when we feel shame, shame is a protector. It's a part that protects us from some danger
Yeah.
that might be about to happen. And
Mhm.
when I did my inner work, I am afraid of rejection. I am afraid of being abandoned. I'm afraid of not being loved. I'm afraid
Mhm.
to not belong. Yeah. So when we want more, when we want to be seen, when we want more money, at the core, we are afraid not to belong. We are
Right.
afraid to be seen greedy. We are afraid to be seen inadequate. We are afraid to be seen too much. So we are afraid not to belong.
Yeah. So it's a touching a basic human need
Yeah,
for love and
absolutely.
belonging.
Absolutely. Because
Yeah.
if I belong, I'm safe. If I
Mm-hmm.
belong, I'm seen. If I belong, it means I am accepted. All these core needs, they are deeply interconnected with belonging.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So when I was rambling with this question myself,
Mm,
so I came to this point of view that um, it's okay if I get disconnected from my childhood friends who are still living in Siberia.
mm,
It's
mm.
probably fine that if I move forward and grow, that this would happen. But there are also people who I might get connected to on the other side,
It's true.
right? And I don't know if I'm simplifying it too much, but this really helps to keep this group of people,
Yeah,
my possible connections,
yeah.
who would meet me once I like take the next step.
So you decided to focus not on what you lose, but actually what you could potentially gain.
I felt that this really helped.
Yeah, I love it because you know what it reminds me? Where we met at the TEDx Los Altos,
Yeah.
there was a speaker who was a director, and she was talking about the documentary that she did. She was doing the documentary about the female rowing team.
Yeah, I watched it.
Uh, yeah, yeah. And one of her quotes was, in order to find the new land, you need to lose the view of the old shore. And
Yeah,
I think this is exactly the reframing you did. You made peace with what you can lose in order to find the new shore. Well
I
done.
absolutely love that you brought this example from the TEDx and from the film director. And I think the film is called Losing Sight of Shore.
Perhaps, yeah.
There was also a thing that one of these female rovers said in the movie that stayed with me after watching it. Once they arrived to the final destination, she said that all of this time I was thinking that the goal is to arrive to this destination. And now I'm standing here and I'm realizing that it was all about the journey.
Yeah, yeah. How how many times we need to remind ourselves of that in order to practice it actually? Many times.
Yeah,
And again
yeah,
and again and again, because we know it intellectually, but nothing happens if we just feed the intellect, unless we embody it, unless we feel it, and unless we integrate it and make it our own. And through daily brave actions, when we show to our inner child the different reality, when that when she is seen, when she is powerful to make impact, and when she is well remunerated for that it's safe.
yeah,
That every with every little action we can show it to our inner child, and this is how we change neural pathways. This is how we change our inner state and the emotional reality. But it comes at the cost of bearing their anxiety, being with the discomfort, because we know we will not wake up one day and just have it all together and not having guilt or shame anymore. And I think one other big part that I think very often comes up when we
Mhm.
do this type of inner work is grief, because I grieved a lot the fact that I have a lot of opportunities and a big chance to practice what it is to be visible and free and impactful and having money. Yet, women in my previous generations didn't have it. And I think this is where we touch upon generational trauma that
Mhm.
experience too. And the particular grief I felt, I think it was about my mom or the relationship with mom, where I was feeling guilty, and then I moved to sadness about my mom not having the opportunities that I have had, and that inability for me to jump after these opportunities, because I wasn't giving myself permission to have something that my mom didn't have. It felt like a
Mhm.
betrayal, it felt disloyal, it felt strange. So I definitely had to held some parts of me there and really do a deep grief work in order to be sad for my mom, but at the same time separate myself from her and to give myself permission to have the freedom and opportunities, even though the women in my family didn't have it. So the pattern of guilt and shame and keeping yourself small, I really wanted to stop with me.
Yeah, I totally relate to that. And I love that you did this work on yourself to grieve the previous generations and what they didn't access to and not to carry it forward. I did this work for myself too. I'm thinking a lot about my mother and grandmother. My grandmother played a big part in raising me and reflecting on her life. She was
Yeah.
just giving and giving and giving and never really allowing herself to take
To
anything.
want and to take.
Yeah. I think having a daughter has really changed a lot for me. And I probably won't be at this place if it's not for my daughter, because I feel the responsibility not to get stuck in those
Mm.
generational views of what is allowed, what is not allowed, because there is another human here
That you are responsible
alive.
for. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And I'm considering myself as this like step for her.
Mhm.
Like how far I can step would
Yeah.
also determine what she would view
Yeah.
as possible, allowed. And
Yeah.
that really is changing a lot.
I hear you. And I love working with the mothers because I think it accelerates in the child work so much.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
I can
it
relate to
so
that.
for better and for worse, like for worse because it makes it harder because we really need to look at ourselves when there is a
Hmm.
child in front of us,
Yeah,
but for better because it accelerates the amount of inner child work
right.
and reflection we do, because of course we want to bring up the healthy, emotionally and psychologically healthier generation that we were.
Totally. Yeah, the impact is happening in real time. So
Yeah,
there is a bit of a pressure to work on yourself.
yeah. No, I can understand that. I think the way to balance pressure is also to be realistic in regards to well the we cannot be perfect mothers, and there will be always something that we will do to our children that they might need to go to therapy after.
Yeah.
And normalizing that good enough mom is good enough, that you don't need to be perfect, I think gives that permission and the place to make mistakes because they are unavoidable.
Yeah. Good enough. I
Good
absolutely
enough is good
love
enough.
this concept.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I was journaling just yesterday, and good enough showed up about 5 times in
Really.
different areas of my life.
Yeah.
Just good enough here, good enough there, and good enough there. And it takes away a lot of pressure.
Russia. Looks like you are embodying it.
So, Anna, I would like you to address your own parts, and I don't know if you can do it at the same time, but let's see. And also give a advice or tip or suggestion to other women who feel ashamed of wanting more.
What comes to mind is I definitely want to thank my ambitious, brave, courageous part who goes into the world and who says, I want more visibility, impact, money. I am so thankful to her because it's thanks to her I am who I am. I have what I have, and I'm sure in one version or another, I will have that more that I strive for. And I also want to promise her that I will support her because I think she represents a part of my inner child who have desires, who wants to be alive, who wants to explore the world, and she needs support. So I want to say to her that I will support her no matter what. And then I would say to her, let's see how good it gets. Let's see. Let's be curious about it.
Yeah. So almost like talking to a child who needs this support, and in this mother's role, providing this support, providing the love that your younger
Absolutely.
younger part needs
Yeah.
to feel safe.
This is one of the best and most efficient ways to give love and support to the self, because we talk a lot about self love, but we don't always know like how to put it on ourselves. Imagining your inner child and feeding her, because her it is you and you it is you. Now, what you would say to your part who wants more?
I'm so proud of you, I would say, that
I
you
love
are
that.
here and that you are moving
I'm
us
proud of-
forward. Yeah. And I'm grateful to the protector part too. But I am the grown up who decides who is behind the wheel. And for now, it's best for me to take the ambitious part of me behind the wheel.
I love that. Very inspiring.
Yeah. I'm so inspired by our conversation. I don't want it to end, but we have to. Thank you for joining me for it. I absolutely love
It
the
was a joy.
topic that we discussed today.